Hello everyone. It's been a while since I made an episode. I think I say that every time now. But I have been busy lately and I've had a lot of interesting medical things to talk about. So we'll probably have more medical information. When you look at the ratio of the time spent on this video than normal. And I guess that's good. I mean, that's kind of the main purpose of this YouTube series, I guess. Since the last time that I made a video, I've had a couple of IVIG treatments, I believe, at least 2. And I've also had the Rituximab treatment, which is a new drug that my doctors wanted to try on me. Rituximab, I was told, when you do a Rituximab treatment, or Rituxan, it has different names, you're not allowed to get vaccinated for 6 months, any vaccines. And when I was told that, I was thinking, oh, it sounds like it's dangerous. You know, if I take a vaccine, am I going to die? Is my body going to explode or something? And when I was in the consult with the doctor at the center where they were doing the infusion, Rituximab is also an infusion, he explained to me that the way Rituximab works is it neutralizes or destroys the lymphocytes in your immune system. Lymphocytes are, according to the doctor, the part of your immune system that fights viruses. And also, they're the part of your immune system that generally are acted upon by vaccines to generate antibodies or whatever response it is that the vaccine's supposed to have on you. It's working on the lymphocyte system. So the reason that I can't take vaccines is they don't work on me because I don't have lymphocytes anymore. So I wouldn't have reactions. I just wouldn't really get any immunity. It just doesn't do anything. That's interesting to find out. Before I continue, just one quick note. Some of the more observant viewers from the last episode probably noticed that the fake squirrel that I had put in the box was not really fake. I have a more extended cut of how long that squirrel just kind of stared at me from inside the feeder. I'm just going to put it up there so you guys can be entertained by that while I'm talking about slightly less interesting things. The last few infusions that I've had over, I've had some interesting experiences. They're called allergic reactions. Allergic reactions are not fun. I would like to... So what happened was the first IVIG treatment I had, they had tried to compress my treatments from 2 days to 1. I was getting like treatments on consecutive days, and they thought, well, we can just take those 2 doses and put them in 1 day to save some time. You know, I don't have to keep the IV line in overnight. It's better. So the first time we tried that, I have a feeling maybe we were infusing a little bit too quickly. I ended up developing hives during the treatment, and they were looking a little scary. I think I have some photos of it. I started looking kind of weird. Kids were laughing at me because like there was red spots on my forehead and they thought I looked silly. But then later realized that that was an allergic reaction. I started developing hives, but they weren't really itchy. And we ended up putting Benadryl. The nurse injected some Benadryl into my IV line and the hives went away. And that treatment went, pretty smoothly afterwards. The hives went away and nothing happened to me. And it was like, oh, maybe we should try doing it slower next time or something. And we decided we would, have a slower flow rate the next time. And then after that, we did a Rituximab treatment. And that took like 5 hours at the clinic. And they put in a lot of steroids and, anti-allergy stuff beforehand. They're very structured in how they do their treatments. And that went very smoothly. I didn't have any issues. I finished the first Rituximab treatment. And they said, you need to come back in 2 weeks for the second one. Initial dose needs to be done twice. I said, okay. So then after that, I had another IVIG treatment, in between those 2 weeks. And that IVIG treatment was kind of weird because we did it slower in 1 day, and I was fine. I didn't have any issues. I went to sleep. I was kind of tired. But the next day, I started developing hives. And hives are, I had hives, and they were starting to cover my body, but they weren't itchy. And I thought, oh, that's fine. They're not really itchy. It's okay. I'm fine with this. Turns out I wasn't fine. If you have hives and they're not itchy, they will be. And they will be terrible. It reminds me of a scene from The Simpsons where Homer is baby-proofing his house. I don't know if you guys watch The Simpsons. It's pretty old. But there's a point where he's like, I baby-proofed the house, Marge.
That baby-proofing crook wanted to sell us safety covers for the electrical outlets. But I'll just draw bunny faces on them to scare Maggie away.
She's not afraid of bunnies.
She will be.
Yeah, Homer says, she will be. And I'm telling you, if you get hives and they're not itchy, they will be. And it's a really terrible experience. I had the hives for like a day, 30 hours. We tried to get They wouldn't let me take any more Benadryl. I'd taken some and it almost took the hives away, but they didn't go all the way away. So then we had to go to urgent care, and they wanted urgent care to give me an IV injection of Solumedrol. But the urgent care people didn't have the right kind of Solumedrol, so they gave me something else. I think it was Decadron or something, a steroid injection in my butt. And I haven't had shots in my butt that I can remember, so it was like a new experience. And then when I came home, though, the steroids didn't really work, but they also prescribed an anti-itch medication, which actually was really good. It really took the itch down, but it only lasted like 6 hours. So I took it at like 7 at night, and I went to sleep. I woke up in the morning, terrible hives. I took the medication again, and then it lasted about 5.5 hours the next day. Then I took it again because I was having hives again. And I had taken it again at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And that day, I felt like in the evening, the hives didn't come back. So I was feeling a lot better. And I said, let me go to sleep without the hives. This was a Saturday night. I said, okay, I'll see what it's like. I go to sleep. Woke up in the morning, and I just had like a few little splotches of hives on my arms. But then a weird thing happened. I came upstairs to work on my computer for like 15 minutes. And all of a sudden, the hives just started like blowing up on my body. And this was Sunday morning. And we had to go to church. I was playing in the service. So I was like, oh, I better take the anti-itch medication right now before it gets itchy. Because like I said, they're not itchy now, but they will be. So I took the medication, driving to church. My arms are all red. I get to church and they're starting to subside a bit. But the anti-itch medication also makes me really drowsy. So I was telling people, we're here practicing. Hopefully I'm fine. But if I look like I'm falling asleep and I fall over, don't be too alarmed. I'm just on medication that makes me drowsy. Fortunately, I didn't get drowsy until the end of service. So the timing was kind of really good. And after that, the hives didn't come back. I stayed away from the flowers. I don't know if somehow, because I was in a weird allergic state, the flowers were like triggering something. And I think the squirrel may have just moved. Maybe, hopefully that lines up with the video when we air it. So that was the allergy experience, which was not very pleasant. Then I went back for my second rituximab treatment. I went in, they gave me all the anti-allergy stuff that they normally do. They started the treatment. So I'd done all of the steroids and other things that are to keep you from getting allergic reaction. They start the treatment, and about 20 minutes in, I'm very itchy. And I'm asking the nurses, do I have hives? And the nurses go, oh, you do. So they run away, and they bring back all these Benadryls and other things, inject me with those. And it takes like 45 minutes for the hives to go away. And then they're like, okay, we're going to start the treatment again. We start the treatment. 5 minutes later, my hands are on fire. They hurt like crazy, because when you get hives, when I do anyway, the soles of my feet and my hands just like burning pain. It's searing pain. It's really terrible. So I asked for ice blocks, and I kind of held on to those. And then they gave me all of the anti-allergy meds and said, we've given you all of the drugs. And when the symptoms seemed to have subsided, they said, well, the doctor says you can't have rituximab anymore. So basically, I didn't get really rituximab the second time. I got like 10% of the bag and lots of anti-allergy drugs and steroids. So the second rituximab treatment didn't go very well. And then we had the final, I had another IVIG treatment this week. And we went over 2 days, and we had no incidents at all. Everything was very smooth. I'm actually feeling pretty good overall, health-wise. It's just I can't really... the drugs were giving me allergic reactions, but my own physical health, I feel like I've been getting better. My shoulders are improving a little bit. I was able to start shaking hands 3 weeks ago. I used to have to always lift my hand to shake with my other hand, like with my elbow. But now I can actually reach out and grab people's hands. If I miss on the handshake, then my hand will slowly lower. But if I grasp it, I can do a handshake. So, some of the improvements that I've seen, other than shaking hands, some of the improvements that I've seen include my left arm. I can raise like higher. I feel like I can get it like almost to head height. And it's really close to raising it. If I lean back, I can kind of raise it all the way up now, like slowly, instead of flinging it up. For a while, the left arm was like stuck down here, mostly, just below armpit level. And when I'm lying down on my back, and I do this every day now, like I'm in bed, I'll lie down on my back and I'll do like air bench presses, like you're doing a bench press. So I can't do them sideways, but, push-ups like into the air, right? And previously, my right arm, I couldn't actually do, lying on my back, I could not, punch to the sky, like doing a bench press. Now I can, and it's, I've been doing more and more of them, and I feel like that's getting a bit stronger. So, I'm seeing improvement in places like that. It's pretty encouraging. Hopefully I keep getting better. I guess I think that's all there is for the medical updates. I mean, I'm just continuing on the same treatments. I tried to convince my doctors to let me lower my prednisone doses every day, but they're still holding me at 40 milligrams. So that's what I'm doing for now. I have a meeting with them at the beginning of next month. So hopefully maybe I can haggle somehow. If you guys have any tips on how to haggle with your doctors to lower your prednisone levels, how to convince them, you let me know how you do that. In the last little while too, our kids did some fun activities. We went on a fossil hunt in a river out here in Florida, where they dug up a bunch of shark teeth and things, and I have some drone footage we can look at, which is kind of fun. I actually had an incident with the drone, which is a little bit sad. We have footage of that as well. I had done a bunch of filming and I had like I don't know, 15% battery left, and I was like, oh, I can do like one more like little panorama circle thing around the kids. It'll be a cool shot. And I wasn't really paying attention. The drone was on the wrong speed setting. It was on like super sport mode instead of like cinematic. And so the super sport and cinematic, the difference is the speed that it flies at, right? And so running at sport mode, it flies really fast. And so I didn't do the circle. I wasn't really paying attention. And you can see, bumped into a branch, fell into the river. Got a cool shot of fishies though in the river. That was interesting. And then the drone shut off. So I had to wait across the river to pick it up. Dried it out in the sun. I put it in a bag with a bunch of desiccant things to dry it out. At first I'd put it in a bag with rice, and then I thought, but I have desiccant like things. Why don't I use those instead? And so I transferred it to the desiccant thing, but there was a lot of little rice grains stuck inside. It took me a while to shake them out. Like they would get trapped in little places. So I would highly suggest using desiccant bags over rice for things that have spaces that rice can fall into if you're going to dry things out. So after drying it out for a couple days and heating it in the sun and drying it out and doing other things, I tried to test the drone again. And turns out the battery, I'm pretty sure, is not safe anymore. Fortunately, you can replace the battery. The drone itself seems to be in perfect working order. It flies again. I have a new battery. And so the drone didn't die. So that's good news. If you drop your drone in a freshwater river for a few minutes, it seems like it recovers pretty well. Good job, drone. Nice for me because I didn't lose, the entire investment of the drone, and I can use it to film some more in the future. And also there's some photos of my hive situations. Stacy was very attentive. She would take photos. She would talk with the nurses and doctors. And here's some photos of my arm, my leg. I guess there's a face photo. Wait, what's wrong with my face? Didn't we just talk about camera angles in one of those episodes? I look terrible in this photo.
That is the right camera angle.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is the correct camera angle. I really do look that terrible. There's just no saving it. Like I said, hives are horrible. I feel like they're really like torture. I think if if I had secrets, I don't know that I would be able to keep them. If you threatened me with hives, I likely would just give it up. It was really, it's much more horrible than I imagined, actually. I mean, the soles of your feet and your hands are burning on fire, and everywhere's itchy. And if you scratch it, it's like horrible pain while you scratch, but you kind of get some relief for like 20 minutes after you've scratched them. And I don't know. I mean, normally I can resist scratching mosquito bites and whatever other things that I've had, like of those nature. But hives on your whole body is not something I would wish on anybody. Well, that's all we have time for today's episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're all having a good summer. And I do have one other little thing, I guess, with the two little squirrels in our backyard. Remember, one of them is like smaller and scared and has to go inside to eat. The other one's chubbier and big and hangs on the outside. Kind of trying to figure out names for those two guys. If you guys have any suggestions, shoot me a comment, send me a message. Maybe there'll be a prize for the best name. Probably not. But it's possible that there's a prize. And if that's an incentive, then give me some names. We'll see you all next time. See you guys all next time. You will see me next time. I should enunciate better. Anyway, yes, that is all. We're done. And cut.